Bond's apartment. I, of course, am Luke. I have a special guest, the Bond Experience, David Zaritsky. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great.
This. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for stopping by my house yet again.
So,
keep coming back.
Yeah, well, I never left.
True.
Check out his channel to see more.
It might not be up at all, so yeah.
Yeah, or that. So we wanted to talk a little bit. We kind of jointly discussed. We wanted to talk about the Omega Swatch, MoonSwatch.
Yeah.
Is it kitschy? Is it kind of a fad? Is it a phenomenon? Is it Bondish?
A lot of questions.
Yeah. So let's start with this.
Sure.
Do you have any?
I do. Actually, right now on my wrist, I am wearing the Mercury one.
I've actually never seen that one in person.
Yeah. What do you think?
Beautiful.
So this is the one that I just received. We actually have 3 in the family. So Danielle has the Sun.
I like the band she put on.
And she put it on a rubber band, so she didn't like the Velcro band. I know some people don't like the noise and don't like the look of it. And I also have, which I think is still my favorite, is the Earth, which is that navy blue and kind of seafoam green. Yeah. So we do, and each one of them we got separately. Each one of them tells a different story. And I will say the impetus for me getting this is I thought it was fascinating from a marketing standpoint that Omega and Swatch, even though they're under the same corporate umbrella, we're going to do kind of a joint venture where it literally would say Speedmaster on it. It would literally say Omega, and it would also say Swatch. And it was combining all these 3 things. It was too good for me to pass up.
I feel like it's never been done in the watch world.
I don't think it has.
Ever. Like you've never seen Rolex even partner with like something like Tudor. Like they just do not do it.
No.
I tend to agree. So I have 2 personally, but I will start with this I picked up this weekend for my favorite brother-in-law.
Wow. Lucky him.
This is the Saturn. So this one actually has kind of a good little view of Saturn right on it. I have, similar to what Danielle did, this is the Mars. So I put a black Hirsch strap on there with red stitching.
Bring that up close. They're going to love that.
Looks real good, right? And then this is my newest one. This is the Pluto. So I gravitated towards the Pluto because it's got what, in my opinion, is, aside from the Moon and the Mercury, probably the closest thing to authentic, true Omega Speedmaster colors. And I kind of wanted something, you know, this isn't as everyday. The black strap helps, but this is definitely a little more subtle.
But I think that's interesting because I think some people have said, I've always wanted the Moon watch, but this is as close as I'm going to get, or this is an iteration. For me, that never factored into it. I just thought it was fascinating, all these things coming together. I knew it wasn't going to be, and this is, hate me, love me for this, I knew it wasn't going to be an overly serious watch. If I'm going to a nice event, or if I'm going to be wearing a suit, I'm not going to be wearing this. I wear these when I'm going out to do things that are active. So if I'm working out, or if I'm puttering around the house, and I hate to be like this, but to me, they're more of a curiosity than, this is like the watch that I will, if the house is burning, I'm going to save.
Right, of course. And I think what makes it so great is the price point.
Yes.
$265 US. The other thing that I love is as David said when he was talking about the 3 that are in his household, each one tells a story. It's not very easy to just kind of show up somewhere and buy one.
Right.
Especially someone like me in Michigan. The nearest one is in either Chicago or Toronto, both 4-hour plus drives. And we just happened to go to the mall, kind of Swatch, and they had basically every single one.
Every single one except for Moon,
Mercury, and Jupiter. So
that's right. That
brings up my next point. David did just say you wouldn't wear it with a suit. Jupiter is all sold out because Daniel Craig himself was wearing it with a suit. And it's honestly, I think it's cool as hell.
That he wore with a suit?
Yeah, because I think it makes, for a really creative, get out of here. We're creative people, right?
Yeah,
it's nice to see somebody do it and pull it off. And then someone out there who may not, well, it's like who may not be able to afford a $7,000 watch.
Yeah.
Thinks like, wow, like literally Daniel Craig is wearing this watch with a suit.
But if I was that individual that couldn't afford a $7,000 watch, I wouldn't get this for $260. I'd go out and get a Seiko
Right.
for $260, and it would look beautiful. And again, this to me is like someone specifically who maybe wants an Omega, who couldn't get an Omega, or somebody that is a
Speedmaster.
watch collector and just says, this is highly interesting.
Okay.
I'm in it, and I'm a collector.
So do you feel like there's a bit of a Pokemon, gotta catch them all type thing?
I think for some
a lot
people,
of people out there that want to have every single one.
Some people want the suitcase filled. I don't need that. I will tell you, I thought I was going to stop at one. Then Danielle liked this one. So a friend of ours, Lorenzo, was able to kind of hook me up with this one. We did a trade. He got the ghost dress from Spectre for his wife. I got this.
Yeah, hell of a trade.
He did good.
Yeah.
He did good on that.
Yes, he did.
But then I was in the same King of Prussia mall, and I'm like, they're like,
Different day.
we have the Mercury, and I'm like, that really looks
Like legitimately the Speedmaster.
like the coloring and stuff, and I love the band and everything, and I'm like, all right. I even said to Danielle, I'm like, one more, and she's like, how many times do we hear that? And you sort of had that situation with Pluto.
Yes.
With Brienne.
Yes. So I had the Mercury. One of the things before we came out here, I told my brother-in-law, actually he saw a video I had just released on the Mercury, or my Mars, I should say. Scratch all that. I have the Mars. So I did a video on the Mars, and it was a little bit about the history of the Speedmaster, then the MoonSwatch, and kind of the phenomenon around it, but not anything too in-depth. He saw it and was like, I need one of those. And I was like, well, guess what? There's like 11, now 12 different styles. So he actually went through and labeled each one with what he liked the best. I kind of told him, you know, when you go in there, you kind of got to do these things quick. You never know what they're going to have. I don't want to have to call. Like, if they have 10, which
was there
are your
any
top
on
3?
there where he was like, I don't want that one no matter what?
Actually, Sun and
the
whatever.
pink one?
Is there a pink one? The light blue one. The light blue one.
Oh, the light blue one. Okay.
Yeah. I want to say one more thing, though. I don't know if this will spark your interest at all, but one of the things I do like about this is it is so highly collectible, and they are so sought after. They really are, and they did do that kind of guerrilla marketing / very difficult to find.
True.
We have a couple type
Makes it very unique.
Yeah. So I've seen Ed Sheeran wear one.
Oh.
I've seen, of course, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic, who is one of the biggest football stars of all time. And then, of course, one of the current F1 drivers, Yuki Tsunoda, had one. So I really like seeing people with basically unlimited cash wear these. I love seeing that.
I saw a guy get on a plane when I was traveling with Danielle. I think we were going to Mexico. We're coming back from Mexico. And he had a MoonSwatch on. I desperately wanted to say, like, oh, dude, because I know it's not a huge group that has them.
Yeah.
And it is a rare thing. And it has a story. Like, all the acquisitions of these have a story because of that.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, you know, I will say when this came out, you know, there was a lot of press on the lines and people waiting, which is cool to see. It's a little Black Friday-ish. It's nice to see people in line for something really special. But, you know, I did hear that there was a lot of people getting into watches because of it, which is nice.
That is
But
nice.
then it's a lot of people that just really appreciate the kind of speciality of it, I guess.
Yes.
You
That's
know,
a great way to put it.
It is a very historical thing. I mean, truly, I don't think anything like this has been done.
But, all right, so what is the juxtaposition, if any, to James Bond? Do you think there is a connection to James Bond?
Yeah. So I think it's simple. I think it's a very minimal connection. I mean, of course, the Omega thing goes without saying.
Yeah.
I think the connection is it's people wanting to wear a watch.
Yes.
And wear a watch that is got the Omega branding on it. And I think a lot of people love the brand because of Bond. But then, you know, we had talked about this in a different video where younger people are starting to wear watches. They're getting more into watches.
Which is amazing.
I love to see
so good
kids and teenagers wearing watches. I was one of those people. So I think it's kind of living the Bond lifestyle, if you will.
La vida loca.
Exactly. La vida Bond loca.
I agree.
What do you think?
Well, I happen to think that it is a light connection to Bond.
Yes.
And the reality is I wouldn't be into Bond. Sorry. I wouldn't be into Omega if I wasn't into Bond.
Okay.
So to me, this is the slide that connects to these watches.
Yeah.
So the Bond pull, and listen, the fact that Bond never wore these didn't deter me from finding these.
Oh, yes. Agreed.
Because I love the brand.
Until then,
So
Daniel Craig did put one on.
That's true. Then it was like crazy.
Uh-oh.
But didn't the color run on him? The
Was
color
that the
blue?
thing? Well, people
did.
say that certain colors will run, but those people are usually on YouTube taking a Q-tip with like rubbing
alcohol. Yeah, exactly.
and saying, "Look what happened." That'd
crazy.
be like me saying my Rolex scratched because I ran it over with my car.
Insanity.
Shocker.
All right, I have a question for you with this. So you've got Pluto. Up until, I don't know, probably a couple days ago, you never thought you were going to get another one, right? Was this kind of like a
It
spur of
wasn't
the
that I
moment?
never thought I would. I mean, my story with it is simple, and I touched on it in my last video about it, is I kind of heard like everybody, like, bang, this thing is out.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm near Toronto, maybe I'll drive out there. And I made a call and found out it was probably a dumb idea because there was already people waiting outside. But then, I think probably 7 months went by before I did actually get one.
Right.
And it was on like a little mini honeymoon we took to Toronto. So then after that,
Ooh.
because it was the Mars that I got, and it is so red and not so every day.
You thought you would get another
Yeah, I
one.
wanted another one that was a little more
Right.
every day, but I wasn't necessarily like pining for one.
So are you done?
I would say so. Yeah.
What if you walk into a place and there's a MoonWatch?
Well, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Well done.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Why is that?
Because this one really looks like it. I mean, it's...
Now, okay, let me ask you this question.
Oh,
Does this, and we did happen to go to the Omega Boutique
we did.
and look at a lot of Speedmasters, because I have wanted, that's a huge part for me,
That's
is
true.
I've wanted a
That's true. I
Speedmaster
never
for a
wanted
long
one.
time. So this was an easy way of getting
Good point.
one on the cheap. After having this,
Yeah.
and then even being in there with me yesterday, do you have any more desire to get a Speedmaster down the line?
No.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just not for me.
I feel like you really liked them.
I do like them, but I don't feel like I need them because there's other Bond watches I want. I want an Aquaterra.
Okay.
You know, I want there's other Bond watches that I still want to get. So yeah, but I can live vicariously through you. You look shocked.
No, I'm not. But you know what? I do, David likes to diversify the collection. I do as well. I will say, I've got this thing, and you kind of touched on it, about liking Omega or being into Omega because of Bond. I'm the same way, but then it's like, now I've kind of taken like almost ownership in Omega. Like as if when I see a celebrity wearing them, I get really happy and excited.
Yeah.
It's like they chose that over Rolex.
Well, that's a part of being part of the brand story.
Yeah.
Like you feel like when you connect to these brands, you're a part of the story as well.
Yeah.
Even if you're 2 degrees removed,
Mm-hmm.
you're still part of the story.
Yeah, like I like seeing golfers hoist
Yeah.
up the trophy, and they've
And
got
you
a
want
Speedmaster.
your brand of choice to win.
Yes.
You know, you want it to do well, and you want all these things. It's just like it's like watching your child at a recital, a piano recital. When they hit a bad key, you wins.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
you don't
no.
have children at a recital.
Not that I know of.
What?
Well, yeah, I mean, but no, that's the perfect way to say it. You want the brand to win. And I
Yes.
think this was a huge, huge win for Omega and Swatch.
Oh my gosh, they can't keep it in stock,
No.
even after all this time.
No. And, even when we went into the mall, he was like, I've got all of them but blank, blank, and blank. So they're, I would say, maybe slightly easier to come by now. Because we're about a year, almost exactly, a little over a year later. But still really high demand. And I will say, it's a little agitating that you can't buy them online on Swatch's website. But I think it's working for them really well in the long run.
I mean,
That
it's
scheme.
creating so much conversation, and it's bringing people into the Swatch store, which is what they needed to do. Because people go to the Swatch store, they don't have the MoonSwatch. Maybe they'll buy something else.
Right, yeah.
And so
I
I'm
mean, I
sure.
did see some other stuff that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to have something. Look at this. This is called the MoonSwatch necklace. It's for dogs. Don't do it.
Well, you know what? That's it. Thanks for doing this with me, pal.
Oh my
I
gosh, it was
appreciate
so much fun.
Look, quick little video on the MoonSwatch.
Yeah.
How we have basically every color of the freaking rainbow.
It's all good. And you need to leave.
And I need to leave.
You need to
So
leave.
if you don't mind, shut this off for me. Bond's apartment, thank you.